So can you kind of talk about, obviously you're going to be a key player this year and what you worked on to kind of prepare yourself for this role?
Yeah, I think off season or even like during season, I've always been big on trying to work my craft, whether I'm here with Cav or outside with the trainer and whatnot. So I feel like I've worked really hard to try to do my best to contribute, and then also just getting with the other guys on the team, the other linemen, and really working like the mental side, the playbook, the calls, the reads. So yeah.
How do you feel so far in spring practice, just in terms of improving and what you've been working on?
I feel pretty good. I started off at left, and then Dez had a little situation going on, so right now I'm playing right, and I feel like I'm really enjoying it, especially being able to be very versatile, going back and forth. I feel like it's really important, really big. But I'm learning every day. I'm getting better every day, so I've been enjoying it for sure.
What specific things do you feel you've gotten better at?
I would say understanding the defense, understanding more than just my assignment, knowing the guard assignment, the center's assignment, getting out at the line of scrimmage, looking at the safeties, looking at the corners. So I would say the outside look on things for sure.
How big of a role was it backing up Kellen last year, helping you learn kind of lessons that you're applying this year? Is that a thing for you?
Yeah, just like that situation I was in, I kind of, got to get in a little bit and whatnot, so I got to get a little bit of the game feel, but also got to watch a guy who's about to get drafted. So I feel like it was kind of the best of both worlds to learn, sit back and learn, but also get a good taste of what it's like to play football.
It's a lot of moving parts on offense with the new coordinator, new offense, and quarterback, new guys on the line. Is it tough to kind of know where you guys stand as spring practice kind of comes to an end?
I don't think so. I think, I feel like we've put in a lot of stuff, and I feel like stuff is starting to click. Honestly, towards the end of spring ball, I feel like that's how you'd hope it work out. But I feel like things are starting to click. I think things are flowing well. Guys are starting to build chemistry. Quarterbacks, running backs, O-line, receivers. I think everything's starting to click. So I'm really excited to see how we finish the spring out, and then going on the fall.
Do you think it's taken any longer just because there's any longer to click just because there's been new transfers and new guys and a lot of change?
I feel like maybe it could be a little bit, but that's not really that big of a deal to me. Like I said, we're in spring. We got a long time till season, and I'm really happy that we got our transfers in, and I really like our coaching staff. So I have no problem with however long it takes, because I feel like the guys we got and the coaches we got is what we need to win a Pac-12 championship.
You have one of the biggest social media presences as an offensive lineman that a lot of us have ever seen. What do you love so much about social media and being active on there?
I don't know, man. I just enjoy it. I feel like a typical lineman is kind of just, quiet, dirty, doesn't really do anything like that. But I don't know. I guess I kind of just embrace it. I have fun. I don't really put too much thought into it. I just have fun in it. Sometimes stuff catches on and blows up and whatnot, but I feel like as long as I don't let distract me and whatnot and worry about it too much, just keep having fun and doing me, I'm gonna keep doing that.
We've also heard a considerable amount about your fashion from the other players. So now's your 30 seconds to make your case to having the most drip in the locker room.
Oh no, for sure. Like when it comes to the line, it's not even a question. Like all the linemen are like, ugh. Like they don't even. I try to get LD to put some tights on. He doesn't want to do anything. So like no one cares. Armand, he's another guy who'd be putting it on. But as the whole team, I can only do so much, because like even Cavs, like, come on, like you're an O-lineman. Like the other staff are like, bro, you're an O-lineman. So I try to play, I would say, within the lines. But I definitely have fun trying to mess around when I can.
Trying to be a colorful guy.
A little bit like that, yeah, I guess.
Thanks, Thank you. Can you kind of talk about making the move over to center?
So yeah, it's not my first rodeo at center during the spring. I went back to center, 2 springs ago, I think it was, when Cody wasn't sure if he was going to come back yet. So, it's like going back to where I was originally. So it's not too bad. It's just like working next to LD, working next to Spencer and Chris and all those guards next to me. It's just building that chemistry again.
You're kind of one of the elder statesmen of the offensive line now with LD, the more experienced guys. How has that been in terms of like a role shift with Kellen and all them graduating and then stepping up into that role?
Yeah, it's really like stepping into that leadership role on the O-line. Like I feel like me and LD really being more of the leaders on the O-line. We got to help these guys out, bring them together, bring up the tempo of practice, get everyone right, because Coach Cabin and Jack can only see so much of what we're doing during practice. So it's good to have both of us out there helping out the young guys and the guys that aren't really sure if they're doing it right or not.
Can you talk about a little bit about Ladarius? Are you guys still roommates?
Yeah, we're still
Okay.
roommates.
Okay, can you kind of talk about how he's kind of was this very young kid when he came in, and now he's kind of one of the leaders out there, and what you've seen from him transforming into kind of a leader?
Yeah, I mean, he's transforming a lot. Like, I think he's one of the more vocal leaders on this team now. You know, he brings up the offense after practice a lot and tells us like what we got to work on, like what we got to do to be a better offense as a whole, and like especially like the O-line after practice, he brings us together and tells us what we got to work on, what we got to improve on, and it makes us better as a whole.
Speaking of leadership, just playing center position, have you felt any more leadership responsibilities?
Oh yeah, for sure. Cause especially because like now that we like huddle and I have to bring everyone together, bring everyone on the same page, get everyone on the right yard line, and bring everyone up to the ball. And like I'm the one who sets the tone. So the slower I get on the ball, the slower everyone else gets on the ball. So if I go up there fast, make my calls, and everyone's on the same page, we can go fast.
How have you been handling that adjustment so far, taking on those new responsibilities?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, like I feel like even at tackle, I knew what the center was doing the whole time, because even last year I was getting reps at center just in case. You know, you never know what was going to happen. So I could have ended up at center last year. So I always knew what was going on. So I feel like I'm pretty good with the calls, and making the calls, get up to the line, making the calls, and I feel like we can go at a fast pace.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
How's the spring going for you so far, Spencer?
It's good. It's we have a bunch of new guys on the line and a new offense, so kind of just getting everyone to mesh together and figure that out.
Do you ever get tired of Isaiah Glass taking mirror selfies in front of your locker?
Yes, it does get annoying. He's a good dude. He's just all about his outfits and his drip and stuff. I love the kid, but it's a little annoying sometimes.
He's one of those young pups, though. Right?
Yeah. I love the kid. He's so funny.
Can you talk about we heard that you're kind of one of the leaders out there, you and LD, and what you're trying to take on, and how you're trying to lead this group?
I think with this young group, some of them, even like the young guys, been here last year, they haven't played a lot of ball, and it's like one of those things. I think back when I was a kid, and you think you know everything, and then you realize there's so much levels to how the game goes, and there's so much you don't know. So it's like trying to teach little stuff to those guys, whether it be alignment of the defensive line, what they might do, or things we see on the field like blitzes and that and whatnot. So I think it's kind of just passing on knowledge, and then with the transfers coming in, I think it's just getting everyone on the same page, and every practice just knowing that we have to earn it. We can't just go out there and not like lackadaisical or whatever. We have to go out there and it's spring ball, so get as good as we can.
Can you talk a little bit about Ladarius? Because obviously he seems like this very happy-go-lucky guy, and you've been here with him for a couple of years. What have you seen from him as far as a transformation into a leader the last couple of years?
Funny you say that. I remember Ladarius coming in, being this guy with always this with a smile on his face, and he was obviously a young talent. And then it's been really cool to see him kind of take on a leadership role and kind of step up for the team. He's always wanted to be the best player he could, and I feel like he's now at a position where he feels like he's good enough and he knows the game enough where he can lead, and he feels like he can lead to his fullest extent. So it's cool seeing him kind of go through that transition.
Where do you feel the offensive line is at, considering you guys lost a good amount of starters and have to replace them?
I think we're in a good position because Coach Cav really, really preaches technique, and I think we have a good our transfers. We have a good core group of guys who want to get better. I mean, we have guys with a lot of experience on their belt, so I think as long as we keep wanting to get better and we keep meshing together, we'll be good.
What's kind of the general vibe of the locker room, I guess, just as spring's kind of coming to a close and winding down now?
I think a big emphasis for us is, when you get in those later practices, it's spring ball, so everyone's like, oh, it's not a big deal, but it's like these practices matter. We have to go out there and we have to, like for me personally, I like to go out and see like what are my weaknesses at. So I think everyone's kind of been harping on that too as a team, is trying to get better at the stuff we're not good at.
individually, which will lead to a better team overall.
Do you think this team can kind of thrive? Obviously, there was expectations last year. Y'all didn't live up to them. So maybe you're under the radar this year and you guys can benefit from kind of being the underdog.
Yeah, I think actually I love that mentality. I think the underdog mentality is probably the best. I love people, thinking we're not going to be great and kind of just shutting them up. I just think it's kind of a great position to be in. So yeah.
You mentioned how like you really use spring ball to like focus on your weaknesses and hone in on. What have you been working on so far?
Personally, a lot of my stuff is just huge technique, like outside zone, trying to really get off the ball and running, not shuffling, and then being really good with my hands. Coach Rod does a really good job with the D-line and how they teach them to either like with their hands, they're very good with their hands, or they're very good at playing technique. So we have to step up in that essence, and that kind of points out our weaknesses, if that makes sense.
Thanks, Spencer.
So how has spring ball been for you overall?
It's been pretty well. It's been pretty good.
We talked with Isaiah, and he says that you contend for best grip on the offensive line. What do you have to say for that?
I'm not gonna lie, I think so. He was right on the money with that.
Yeah?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Yep.
How's the chemistry been between you guys so far? With a bunch of guys going out and people adjusting. Scott going to center. How's been the adjustment going for everyone?
It's actually been pretty good. Like I think we've been communicating a little bit better since last season, as a unit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that from that standpoint, it's actually been pretty good.
With spring practice coming to an end, what's your biggest takeaway from this whole process?
For me, I just think I need to take a little bit more time to get better with my technique. So overall, that's kind of what I think.
What specifically do you feel like you need to work on with the technique?
My width and depth step, and top of the pad lift. My overall technique, inside zone, outside zone, pass pro, just the whole 9 yards.
How's it been playing guard? Because we've kind of seen you shift all over the place here and there. So.
It's actually been pretty good.
Yeah.
And now that I've been learning a little bit more stuff at tackle, so it's kind of good to know both positions on the offensive line.
Can you go in depth a little bit more about the versatility of being able to play guard and tackle?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good too. That's pretty good.
What are some of the challenges of having to switch between those two positions?
I don't think it's really a challenge because my senior year, before I came, I kind of played tackle a little
Right.
bit. Because I couldn't play my season, but like camps, I played a little bit of tackle. So I kind of know a little bit of stuff about tackle. So it hasn't been pretty hard.
How do you feel about playing in a huddle offense versus a no huddle offense?
I think it's pretty good because back in high school, I played with a huddle offense. So seeing that kind of like, oh, I did this before. So kind of like a piece of cake.
Do you ever have a hard time seeing out of your face mask with how thin the little strip is right here, and then it's deep right here?
Yeah, just a little bit.
It looks good, but it is difficult to see out of sometimes?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah.
Cool.
What do you feel like you've improved on the most in this process?
I think I've improved on. Hold on, my bad. Say that again.
What do you think you've improved on the most during spring ball?
I think I improved on my pass pro the most. For with my feet and all that, I think I proved that one the most.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
I'm doing all right.
How do you feel so far in spring ball?
I'm feeling good. Right now, we're just buckling down on technique and everything, and making sure we can execute our new plays. Of course, we got a new offensive coordinator, new playbook, so we're really working hard to get that down. And you know what I'm saying? It's just putting in work every day.
Is there a challenge in having a new coordinator and new guys coming in? There's a lot of transfers in the mix.
Right.
It is spring season and you have plenty of time, but what's that been like?
Challenges I would say is right now, like we have a lot of mental errors just because it's a new playbook. We got new guys, so it's kind of like a clean slate coming into spring ball. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has to learn the new scheme, how everything operates. But I think everybody's doing very good so far, and as far as picking it up and getting it rolling, and we're looking pretty good as of today.
In a huddle-first offense, how has that been for you as the center? Because we talked with Ben earlier. You have to kind of set the tone with going up to the ball and everything. Is it kind of same story with you, and how do you attack that?
Right, it's the same kind of deal. Right now, the huddle offense is new as far as with the new offensive coordinator, but we're the generals on the field, so taking that responsibility, you have to know what you're doing to the best extent. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm working on right now, getting everything to the back of my hand. I know what I'm doing, and everything's going to be great. As soon as I can do that.
You've gone from working under D West to now to Ben. How has that change been, and like how is he kind of taking that leadership in terms of being the starting center, and what does he pass down to you?
As far as that goes, it really is just it just comes back down to me, you know, body weight, of course. I'm working now with Coach Joe, getting my body weight up the right way. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be sloppy, of course, but as far as everything else, we're really working together. We're learning everything together, so it's kind of like a partnership here. And as far as me, I just got to fine-tune my technique and then get my body weight right. And as far as football, I'm not worried about football. Football's going to handle itself. That's the easy part, of course. But it's just the small things that we have to get fixed, and everything's going to be good.
What are you weighing right now?
Right now, I'm weighing 280.
Gotcha.
Still really early on, obviously, in the offseason and things like that. But in a quarterback room where there's just a lot of different guys having to learn their tendencies as far as their 3-step drop back, 5-step, you know, how quick they get the ball out. Is that a challenge, I guess, for the offensive line and trying to, you know, stay strong up there and giving whoever it is that much time back there?
You know, it's been a little bit of a challenge because we do have this new offense and we're going against basically the best defense in the Pac-12. So as far as the quarterback situation, I believe we have very good quarterbacks in the room, and they're also learning a whole lot of new things with the new offensive coordinator, and we all are kind of working together to get the chemistry going and everything right as far as up front, and I think it'll work out fine here pretty soon.
And with that chemistry from the beginning of spring camp to now, the last practice before the spring game, how far have you guys come, you think, and where you're standing?
Tremendously. We have came a long way. Like as far as penalties, being mentally locked in, we've all came together, and we're really starting to get things down now.
What have you done specifically to work on penalties and not having as much of them?
Specifically, I've learned now we all have to be locked in as a unit. So going in, straight football, paying attention, locking in, looking at the script perhaps, you know, just to be ready for whatever it might be, especially at center. So I've been working on that, and it's really helped a lot. I've seen a lot of improvement, and I'm looking forward to keep improving.
With having Jaden Daniels last season, had a tendency to rush a lot and kind of scramble out of the pocket. Have you guys been working on anything specifically with quarterbacks that maybe are a little bit more to be, or are going to be in the pocket a little bit more?
Right, and that goes back to technique as well. We've been working all different types of technique, and Coach Cav has been helping us to execute these and get these down so that when it's time to go execute it in the game, we can do it to perfection.
How have you kind of shifted your development in terms of like year 1 into year 2 working under Coach Cav? Is it kind of the same story, just kind of focusing on body weight and that kind of thing, or
it's kind of a different story. I believe personally, I still have a chance to possibly play, but then again, it's on me. You know what I'm saying? Getting my body weight together. You know what I'm saying? And really learning this new playbook. You know, all the formation learning, everything is new to me coming out of high school, and Cav really wants me to understand the football spectrum, maybe say have a higher football IQ, of course, before they can trust me to go in and execute as a starter. So I'm taking that role to just now learn, gather everything I need, execute, and by fall camp, we'll see where things goes.
Cool.
You talk about possibly playing. Do you have any expectations for yourself set for this season?
Expectations, get my body in order, and as soon as I learn this playbook, I'm pretty positive I could do pretty good things on the O-line.
Where do you want to be body-wise, weight-wise?
I'm shooting for 295. Yes, sir. A more leaner 295, and I feel like I'm moving pretty good now, and I should be moving good when I up my weight. And I feel like everything's gonna be all right.
And we saw you hang on the goalpost, so I'd agree with that.
Well, you said a lean 295. I mean, you look very lean right now. So what does that look like in the weight room as far as, you know, being that big, but you know, staying locked into and getting to that point?
Right. Like Coach Joe is amazing. Coach Joe knows exactly what he's talking about and what he's doing, and going in there every day. As far as our workout routines, I'm still higher up on the racks, but my diet is what needs to be improved per se. Eating the right things and eating more often. And I feel like that incorporated with the weight program that we're going through now will give me a farther ways than I could imagine.
Cool.
All right.
Appreciate you, Ezra.
Thank you.